Okay, we are back live and we have gone in camera and come back out. So the motion coming out of in camera is moved by Councillor Kelman, seconded by Councillor Lackey, that council rise and report from in camera and that the mayor report the following outcomes from the in camera meeting. Council received a verbal update on litigation matters. All those in favor of the motion? All those opposed? And it is carried. Next item is the mayor's update. I attended the 2023 AMO conference this week. So I was there on behalf of the United Counties of Leeds and Grenville. So I attended a number of delegations, one with Minister Calandra, long-term care in regards to the Mapleview Lodge facility and how that's moving forward. There was a further ask for some funding. They're in the process of looking at rural versus urban funding and that sort of thing. The good news is that he's using our build as an example to a number of other municipalities who are struggling with theirs. So he is very impressed. The $1 million question, and the irony was when we went into that delegation, he said something, all you got to do is build the houses. And I said, with all due respect, Minister, it's in Athens and there's no water and sewer. So I said, while we may require housing, it's not the type of housing for the types of jobs that we would be attracting. So this will have to look to neighboring municipalities, say like Elizabethtown Kitley, who has access to water and sewer from the city of Brockville, to perhaps build something closer to the edge of Elizabethtown Kitley. It's closer to Athens. So there's a number of things that were discussed there. We also met with Minister Jones in regards to the ambulance billing issue with the city of Ottawa. The ministry wants us to continue to try to resolve this on our own with the city of Ottawa. They do not want to get involved if they don't have to. But the fact remains that we have other reciprocal agreements with other jurisdictions who continue to make us whole and them whole in the event that there's any disparity between the number of calls going cross borders. However, the minister was very interested in the fact that the delegation was very interesting. We showed up not with county council, we showed up with 5 other jurisdictions of county wardens and county paramedic chiefs. There was 25 of us in the room. And if you have the pleasure of doing a delegation, generally speaking, there's about 4 or 5 of you. It's not that, but we packed the room. And there was actually an MPP who showed up from Prescott Russell. This is an important issue because it's not just affecting Leeds and Grenville. Very proud of our warden, Nancy Peckford, who was the one who drove the bus on this delegation. She led the delegation. She was the one we received the delegation, and Minister Jones sat up and took notice. However, is encouraging us to continue to try to build bridges. And we're hopeful, however, not totally oblivious to what the outcome could be. The mayor of Ottawa was not in attendance at AMO, which was really disappointing, considering Ottawa's been the host for however long. The mayor of London was very gracious in welcoming us. I also led a delegation with Minister Mulrooney for MTO. There's been a number of discussions where we've been asked to potentially be partners with the St. Lawrence Parks Commission at the county level to take over maintenance and care and control of the parkway. However, even the minister was somewhat confused about this because MTO takes care of it. They're responsible for maintenance as well as resourcing any upgrades or any repairs. And that is the nub of it. We don't seem to know, it doesn't seem to be a very cohesive relationship between St. Lawrence Parks Commission if they're coming to the county and asking for our help. So we wanted some clarity on that. The other main idea that we're trying to get across to the minister is that the EDR that has been invoked on Highway 2 between Brockville and Lansdowne over the last 2 years has increased exponentially. The state of Highway 2 has declined exponentially to the point where we've repaired a certain section of the surface and it's already starting to lift again. There's a public safety issue, people getting in and out of driveways, being on Highway 2 with transports and what have you. Plus the fact that our newly renovated exit 659 is very difficult to see turning trucks when there's that kind of traffic. The incident on July 15th, where both sides of the highway were closed, our fire service was on scene along with Front of Young, where Orange had to come and pick up a patient. And then what it ended up happening is people were using the Parkway as an EDR because Highway 2 was packed. And then we ended up with a subsequent accident on the Parkway. So it was total madhouse and pandemonium and gridlock. But what we basically said, if this is going to continue, if you're not 3-laning the highway anytime soon, we're looking for a little bit of support here to rebuild the road, because it can't take that kind of traffic. But also that, and this is something that our director of operations and I have had conversations with MTO staff about, the signage on the 401 is very poor, directing EDR onto Highway 2 and not the Parkway. There's a tiny little sign that's like this big on the split at Cataraqui that says no trucks. It should be on the major green sign above by the $1,000 Parkway if there's not supposed to be trucks there. But the conflicting discussion that we've had with staff is that the $1,000 Parkway has been constructed to withstand that type of traffic. But there's another public safety issue there. We have tourism, it's a parkway, it's supposed to be a leisurely drive, there's walkers, there's bikers, there's all of these things. Not to say that it can't also be on Highway 2, but that the $1,000 Parkway was built for that type of natural tourism, tour buses and everything else, and boats and trailers and things that could be a real accident waiting to happen. So I'm very encouraged that we will have further discussion about that, because the main thing that the minister did get out of it is that any app that you use on your phone for following whatever, it doesn't identify what the EDR is. And it doesn't actually push you to the EDR. It'll just push you to whatever. And so the ask of the minister was to contact CRTC or whoever is in charge of Waze or Google Maps or Apple Maps to say, these are the EDRs. And when those roads are closed through 511, those GPS services need to automatically push to EDRs and not onto Maple Grove Road that gets used when it's past Cataraqui, and because there's a safety issue associated with our residents and the increased amount of traffic on those roads. So it was a good delegation, and Minister Mulroney is quite nice to deal with. So go ahead. Yeah. No, sorry, we didn't get to that. We did talk about safety in regards to the EDR, but not that specifically. We will continue to have that. Lastly, when it comes to AMO, the CN rail discussion. So the intervener status is been requested. Their Plimpton, Wyoming mayor, Gary, can't remember his last name, him and I had a lengthy conversation. He is one of the champions of this. They are owed hundreds of thousands of dollars in Western Ontario for their lack of commitment to drainage in and around railways. They're not paying their bills. It's not fair. It's not fair to the farmers, not fair to the municipality. Everybody's taking this on. I told him about our issue with CN and what happened on County Road 32, and the number of residents affected by that, not to mention the farmer where they pulled the beaver dam. But also the lack of drainage at the base of Miller Street here in Lansdowne, where the stormwater management ceased. What little stormwater management we had in this village ceased to exist once the third rail went in. So there's, to the point that was made earlier, there's a real lack of camaraderie with CN. It's do as I say, not as I do. And my understanding is that they had a meeting, which I was unable to attend because of the delegation, of a number of affected municipalities, and CN tried to come in to the room to be part of the meeting, and they were asked to leave. we're done talking to you. You don't actually want to talk. So this is about a legal action and you're not invited. So Mr. Salvatore, Daniel Salvatore, who's the PR guy, I think we'll be very busy over the next little while, but it's up to Amo and Roma to deal with that at a higher level. So we're calling all community organizations in regards to the grants program. The fall intake is now open and applications are due September 1st. So that is a short turnaround time. There's no reason that people shouldn't know about this. We've been advertising it for quite some time. It's been on social media. It's been on the website. It's been in the newsletter. It's been in, I think, some of, maybe even in the tax bill. I'm on data overload right at the moment. So hopefully, and I know that I've spoke about it publicly as well. So if you have a community organization that you are looking to gain some support for, to do community projects or support children in our community, please make your applications before September 1st. Save the dates. Lyndhurst Turkey Fair will be held on September 16th from 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Terry Fox Run will be held on September 17th from 8 a.m. to noon. And the Ridgeway Confections Truffle Shuffle will be held on September 24th, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Also, in order to replace the Ivy Lee Wharf and the boat launch with the new layout, the wharf has been closed as of August 21st with the anticipated completion date of November 2023. For additional details, please visit the township website. And on behalf of council and staff, we wish everybody a happy and restful Labor Day. Enjoy the last long weekend of the summer. It's all done but the crying. So, Councillor Jameson, go ahead.
I thought you might mention it, but I understand why you didn't. Been very busy. Just like to thank our CAO, ably assisted by the deputy mayor and your humble servant, going to the Gananoque Council to make a presentation with respect to the physician recruitment program that our council has adopted, and we should be pleased to know that Gananoque Council is stepping up with us, and I really do appreciate the CAO's work in this area, and I know other staff members as well. But this is a good next step in a long process, I know. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for reminding me of that. Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just the OLG event is happening September 13th, where the township and town get together to break bread with the OLG people, more or less.
And that's at 5:30 in the town park.
In town park, yeah.
Yes. Okay. Any other announcements that anybody wants to throw out there? I don't see Brock's hand up. Oh, Terry, go ahead.
Thank you, Your Worship. We couldn't possibly have the time to name them all, but the number of athletes in our township the last couple of months that have basically hit the mother load of awards, most recently the canoe club. But it's encouraging to know that we have youth, predominantly they're all youth, in this area that have accomplished what a lot of these youth have accomplished. And it resonates. It all comes back to where you're from. So congratulations to all of them.
It's a good point. So the U12 took home the All Ontario champs in this past weekend from Welland, I believe. So all the kids under 12 had won respective events and they were the best all around team. And I would say 80% of that team was from TLTI. So we'll take that. And I know that they are benefactors of our community grant program, which we readily support them and we appreciate. I know as a parent, I definitely appreciated being able to send my kids there to do some fun activity through the summer and learn and gain a competitive edge and friends for life. So, okay, that's everything. Move forward with a motion from Councillor Lackey, seconded by Councillor Kelman, that 3 readings and final passage be granted bylaws 23-041, 23-049, 23-050, and that 3 readings and final passage be granted to bylaw number 23-051, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the corporation, the Township of Leeds and the Thousand Islands at its August 24th special council meeting. All those in favor of the motion at hand? All those opposed? And it's carried. Non-debatable motion moved by Councillor Lackey, seconded by Councillor Kelman, that council adjourn. All those in favor? All those opposed? Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening and the rest of the summer.